I run a production company. I'm originally from Armagh, so I'm within the Creative Edge cluster, but I kind of I'll do a lot of my work all over across Northern Ireland, some in the rest of the UK, and a lot of work in the south of Ireland as well. I produce promotional, educational media and content, really, for really right across the board for any service or product. I really enjoy applying media and film making skills to any kind of product or service, and find that they really are kind of applicable across the board. And that's what excited me and has driven my career for the last kind of 15 years, having come from marketing and PR and to other intents and purposes kind of a broadcasting environment as well. So a kind of a journalistic background similar to Paul in a certain respect, but not as full time as that. I did a lot of work in radio and marketing and PR. So it was all pushing about storytelling at the end of the day, and image as I was coming through, and around 2001, 2002, when we were actually all switching on to the internet, even though it was really slow then, if you can remember. So if you can kind of think then, video was great then, but it wasn't really applicable for all sorts of it wasn't as applicable as it is now for all sorts of reasons, as you can probably imagine, because we couldn't stream it then. Remember, we only had like 2 megabytes of broadband if we were lucky. Do you know what I mean? And if you moved outside the city, you could absolutely forget about it. So it didn't really work then, did it? It certainly didn't work. You couldn't sit and stream Netflix and be on your phone and be watching the TV at the same time, as everybody seems to do now, and as the figures kind of seem to as the figures seem to bear out. So the future of media and marketing is video, because a lot of the numbers and the figures and the statistics are proving that in terms of what we consume and how we consume it on devices, on phones. We want to be shown and told information now, as opposed to reading it off a page, right? And the more technology increases exponentially over the next couple of years, the more that reading thing off a page, although, listen, books are still brilliant and I've got a house full of them, it's going to kind of wane in terms of the business information, the technical information that we want to gather, okay? It's going to go 360, and it's going to go to AR and VR, and then it's going to go holographic, okay? So us standing up here and saying, listen, video is the future, is the way forward, video is dead. In a way, do you know what I mean? If we're not doing video now, we really need to catch up, seriously, because it's going to evolve and change even more in the next couple of years, do you know? So video reaches 3 times as many people as your standard blog or your standard information, okay? It's projected, this one got me actually, projected that 80% of all web traffic in 2 years' time is going to be video. Think about that, 80% of all web traffic. 60% of the key decision makers in any company around the world would rather look at a video than read a book. Not a lot of work, but some work recently I have found myself doing is taking annual reports and translating them into short pieces of video content that people can kind of watch as well. So businesses actually know this as well. They don't want to put a big tome down in front of you and go, there you go, there's our annual report, because that doesn't impress anybody anymore, and nobody seems to have the time for it, do they? Everybody wants the summary. And everybody wants to look and see the summary, and it needs to look great, and the graphics need to move, and the pictures need to be good. Okay, whether that's still images that are moving or video images that are moving, or whether it's voiceover or text, it all needs to be. It's all integrating and coming together. And at the end of the day, it's all about stories and storytelling. Okay, so figures from YouTube and Facebook and all the other things. Let's just run through a wee bit of that for you, just for context as well. Mobile video is really taken off as well, is key. It's consumption of mobile video doubles every year on year, okay, on YouTube. 85% of us are using multiple devices at the time. Who sits at the house of an evening and watches whatever you watch, but kind of sneakily looking at the phone at the same time? Do you know what I mean? We're just, not just one screen now, it's multiple kind of screens, okay? 2/3 of us are on a second screen all the time. Half of 18 to 35-year-olds YouTube users would drop what they're doing if their favorite content creator was making something. So online video and YouTube and things like that are seen as as a viable form of, source of information for people, essentially. Okay. 4 in 10 millennials say they only trust YouTube for videos about the causes that they care about. So what does that tell us? That they will, if they care about something, they will go straight to the source and find out the information where that is. They will go to the influencers or the people, and they will trust their content or whatever they're saying, essentially. Okay. And 6 in 10 teen YouTube viewers report that a YouTube creator has changed their lives or the way they see the world. Okay. So it does have the ability to affect real change as well. That's YouTube. Facebook numbers are even more off the kind of scale. 8 billion videos watched per day. 85% of them are watched without sound. We talked about this last week. I've been creating a lot of testimonial videos recently with for the 2023 Capital of Culture campaign that Belfast and Derry are going for. So we've been interviewing a lot of people and just doing a lot of testimonial stuff. And the figures that they're getting back are that, just like that, 85% of people are, and these are videos we're uploading, are watching the videos without the sound. And you're like, why are you doing that? Why do you do that? But it's probably because they're maybe in work, or they're on a bus, or they're somewhere that you can't just blur your speakers. Do you know what I mean? Or else they maybe they might have their headphones on. But the subtitles on Facebook are automatic now, and they're really, really good. So they're actually just watching and reading the subtitles off. But they're consuming it. They're not reading it in an article. They're consuming the video. They're just consuming it without the sound, which is interesting. So that can kind of form how you shape your videos and how they work then. Live is also huge. Live streaming events, which we're doing now, is also massive, and more so because it's immediate and it's something that's happening now. And while you're not there, you can click on and kind of virtually be there. That's growing massively and exponentially, and will continue to. So it's huge. And that, again, that may or may not apply to some of your businesses, but that's the way content's going. And 50% of all videos played on mobile devices, 50% of all video plays are on mobile devices. So half of the videos that are played are being watched on mobile devices. And the engagement with posts is more if you have videos or you have photographs in it, because we're living in a visual world now. Okay, so if you include rich media content, be it just some images or videos with your post to show what you're doing and explain what you're doing, then at work people will engage with it more, they'll comment on it more, they'll linger longer on it. Okay. Twitter, 80% of Twitter users are watching video. Periscope has the equivalent of 110 years of live video watched every day. Okay. Snapchat's huge as well among young people and millennials, and they're sharing videos and images at like 9,000 images per second or something daft. So, to say that video is the way forward is a real kind of understatement. As content is the way forward, is an understatement. So, of course, that's going to have an influence on your business. If you're selling a product or a service, whatever it is, you want to reach your current customers, you want to reach your potential customers, influencers, industry bodies, industry people. You want to do that in the most effective and efficient and impressive way possible. So if everybody else is doing it, then yep, absolutely. You need to get on the bandwagon and see how that works. See how that form of communication can work for you. And there's loads of different types of video. We don't just go out as professionals and say, let's make a video, okay? You need to work out what's applicable, what do you want to say and what's applicable. I know Paul will speak about this later, so I'm not going to dwell on it too much. But you need to focus down and work out what the message is. It's still all about storytelling. It always has been since we started painting on caves, and it will continue to be so no matter what the technology is that we use. It's still all about storytelling, about making an emotional connection with an audience, and trying to emit a response, be that an emotional response or physical response or whatever that is. It's still all about that. But there are different ways to do that with video. To attract customers, we can have animated explainer videos. I'm sure you've all seen those with cute little characters running about and explaining stuff in a very easy and transparent kind of manner. 360-degree videos are becoming much more popular at the minute, and you think, ooh, technology is just on the cusp of being really, really super usable. And interestingly, while not as many people will click on and watch the 360 video, if they do, they stay for a lot longer than a flat standard video. Okay, so you mightn't get as much reach with it, but those who you do reach will stick around and stay with it. And it may be applicable for more industries, for different industries and others. 360 just crying out for like stuff like property and architecture and stuff like that, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? If you want to immerse yourself in a space, okay. And it's got to the stage where it's really accessible in terms of the equipment and the kit and being able to do it, okay. And then branded films where your product or service is embedded within the content of the video itself. So say a music video, but it has all of your branded clothing in it, or all of your branded furniture, or all of your branded vehicles or whatever in it, okay? And you can click on the hyperlinks and find out more about that stuff as you're watching the lovely content that has been made, okay? So those kind of things attract customers, or kind of signposts to try and attract customers. And then to engage with them, there's other types of videos. You can do a behind the scenes video of the making of, I've certainly done that quite a bit, but I'm a bit of a nerd for it, do you know what I mean? It's how things are made and or behind the scenes where you follow your favourite character, those sort of things. The making of, whiteboard videos, which are basically kind of the white jacket, kind of explaining simply very complex procedures or issues. And question and answer videos where you could do it live and answer people's questions live, or you could have a series of questions that have been, from users or customers emailed in, and you're responding to those online. Those work really well also to engage people. Other types of videos, testimonials, where end users have very kindly agreed to go on the video and give you a glowing endorsement for your product or service. Those work really, really well when you've already got somebody who's kind of on the edge of pressing the button to buy something. And certainly I found myself looking for online reviews of products that I go to buy, or user content who have used them and reviewed them. So testimonials are and always have been, but certainly video ones are strong, because you can immediately tell if somebody's acting or not, can't you? Like you can tell the veracity of somebody, whether that's a setup or not. It's not like a Purcell ad where they're actors. They're real people, and you can tell, right? FAQs are good for video as well. Frequently asked questions are good for video, because it just, we've all had something break down where you go, I know I can fix that, and you go online and you go through the blogs, don't you? And you stream and you stream and you stream. But if the question and answers are there, and somebody's talking to you on the screen telling you what it is, or going on to YouTube, how do I fix this? Somebody's there with it. And product demos, which take the mystery out of products or show you how to use stuff, so it doesn't have to be a 20-page brochure manual anymore. So how does this work? Well, I'm going to show you now. Okay, so all of these work because people have made their careers on YouTube out of these over the years as well. Do you know what I mean? For certain industries. So it's not just about making a video. You need to work out what type of or mix of content and video that you want to make. Okay. Vlogging and engagement. The guys asked me to speak a wee bit about this as well. Vlogging is amplifying the word of mouth through social networks. So word of mouth is certainly when you're on your own business, you appreciate how word of mouth is very effective in getting and maintaining, getting new business and maintaining the business that you have. Northern Ireland being quite a small place, it works very well. If you do a good job, some people tend to tell other people, and that's kind of the way it works. And you kind of very quickly get known for what you do. Maybe not as relevant when you get to in an international context. That might not work as well, but it's still hugely relevant. And this is where the vlogging comes in, because the vlogging cuts through that and gives you an influencer who maybe has X amount of thousands of followers, for a product. Again, this may be more relevant for some industries than others, but it's really good for reaching young people. Because they've grown up with kind of vloggers a lot more, and people doing reviews of this and reviews of that, or endorsing things. And it's a good alternative to high cost kind of marketing campaigns as well, because it doesn't cost a lot. The production costs of people vlogging isn't as high as it is to run a huge marketing campaign. You know what I mean? But best used within your marketing mix, as opposed to just, we're going to launch this whole campaign and just have people vlogging about it, you know. But it makes a brand feel more involved in digital communities as well. So it's you're immediately in on the digital plane straight away. If people are influencing and if people are vlogging, which is video blogging essentially, or reviewing your product or whatever, you know, people might do that, but might do that kind of beyond your control in a way. But what you want to make sure is that you're not paying somebody just to say anything. It still needs to be true, and it still needs to be accurate, and it still needs to have some veracity to it. Otherwise, it's not going to hold any influence with people. It's not going to do what it's meant to do. It is a really good return on investment. If it works really well, and it's really good at reaching relevant customers. Do you know what I mean? Customers who you want to reach, who are your target market. It might not reach everybody, but it's really good at speaking to target markets really well. And it's an authentic. Again, it's all about. I'll come back to storytelling. It's all about storytelling, and it's a very authentic way of telling a story for a brand. So I've raced through it quite a lot there, but I just wanted to give you an overview and then some specifics about that. Some of the video types in there, you know, whether it is 360 videos, branded films, or anything by going, some of those may chime with some of you more than others, depending on what industry you're kind of working in. But be sure that video is very much here and is a very hugely powerful tool. I know Paul's going to touch on this, so I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but technology increases exponentially in its power and its worth every 3 years. Your laptop kind of in its processing power, and what you can do on these things is incredible, with a little bit of knowledge, which again Paul will elaborate on. So the tools are there to make very, very impressive content, even more so than definitely more than 10 years ago, and it would be remiss of us not to consider using it. Okay, future, to look forward, again, 360s becoming much more relevant and usable and engaging. All the big brands are doing it. Okay, your car manufacturers are doing it. Your coffee makers. I saw one for Nestle today, driving through the middle of Africa on 360 video. It's really engaging. I'm sure you've kind of come across it, but I don't know if you've actually sat and spent the time to take a few minutes to watch, to engage with those. It's hugely engaging when it works. VR and AR, again, are like on this cusp of becoming even more usable. AR is your Pokemon Go kind of stuff, where you run around and it augments the reality that you're in by adding content within it. VR, the glasses on and you're completely new content. But the glasses are selling free now with certain mobile phones, etc. as well. Okay, so once we're over that little leap, then VR will be the thing as well. And then as soon as we lose the smartphones and start wearing the glasses, everything's going to be holographic and just touchscreen like that there. But will we still need video? Yes, of course. We will still need content and people to explain stuff to us and pictures to show, no matter what the transport stream of that is. But these are the things that are in the post, and just they're here now, but they're becoming much more kind of evident in daily existence. Facebook is into it massively. Apple are into it massively. All of this is going to be kind of, on a holographic screen in front of you kind of soon. So but you don't need to worry about that too much. How does that, it's about how that applies then to your business, to your work, to getting more customers, to selling more products. And that's the sort of certainly where people who work in the industry come in to, I suppose, try and translate that sort of stuff for you and help you in that respect. So that is me. That's kind of my overview, and that's my 15 minutes up. So love to chat to you afterwards. Any questions or whatever? And I hope I've given you some enlightenment as to what's going on now and what's happening or what will be happening in the future. So thank you very much.